Why do you love metal? It's a question that metalheads get asked all the time, a question that has as many answers as there are metalheads. You can love Black Sabbath, the Lamb of God, and Meshuggah, but the specific reasons you love each band may intersect very little, if at all. The purpose of this show is to dig into the question, to explore and celebrate the vast stylistic variety within the metal genre. So, why do you love metal? Let's find out on 5 Songs. And here we are. It's another episode of 5 Songs. I'm your host, Kevin Tulppo, and my guest today is Tim Cassidy. He plays bass and does some vocals with local Ypsi band Iron Belly. Welcome to the show, Tim. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me out.
All righty. And as everybody knows by now, Tim has brought 5 metal songs that he digs, and we're gonna talk about them and have a listen to them and talk about them a little bit more. Without further ado, let's get into your list.
Sweet.
The first song on your list today is Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Children of the Grave.
Yes.
What about this song? Tell us about this song.
First of all, we all know that Tony Iommi wrote all the cool riffs, so there's nothing really left for us, but Geezer Butler, he's a big foundation to that band, and the bass playing on that is, to me, is just nuts. It's like a wall of sound. That's what I loved about that. Some of the other ones were kind of mellow in some spots, but Children of the Grave just smacks you in the face, and it keeps on going.
Right on.
I love that.
Oh, and that reminds me, it should be noted that you are actually my first bass player guest on this show. You're the first bass player I've had. So I've actually been kind of interested to see what weird shit bass players are into and what goes through their asses for their brains.
Well, when you have a guitar player, a drummer, they always talk about, listen to that guitar player, the drummer, listen to the drummer. It's the same thing for the bass guys.
Right on.
Except for we're just a lot smarter than the rest of you guys.
All right, man. Well, let's cue it up and have a listen to it. This is Black Sabbath with Children of the Grave. Black Sabbath, Children of the Grave. That's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah. And then you also like we'll go back to the bass thing. You know, that's one of the godfathers of that heavy metal bass sound. That's he's a part of that wall.
Right.
You know, you take him out, and it's not take the bass out. You take Geezer Butler out, and that stuff it's not the same. It falls apart.
Right.
Just a monster of a player, because all the tones that he would get. You know, and I'm not 100%, but I want to say he's like 80% a finger person rather than a pick guy. So you do get a lot of different tones and overtones and undertones.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed like just from playing guitar, you know, when you pluck a string with your finger, it's an entirely it's a much softer attack, like a totally different tone than when you hit it with a hard plastic pick, you know.
Yeah.
And I can you can usually tell I can usually tell when I hear a clear bass track, whether or not it's being picked or just plucked with the finger, because because the attack is different.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, the attack.
Let's move on to the next song on your list then. We got we got Danzig.
Danzig,
a classic old Danzig, Twist of Cain.
Twist of Cain. So that's that's Danzig right after Misfits, which I really wasn't into Misfits, still not into the Misfits, but I understand them and I appreciate them.
I always loved Misfits. I kind of think he went from Misfits to Samhain,
yeah,
and then on to the solo stuff, and you can kind of hear like for me, I can kind of hear the progression from Walk Among Us being the last, Earth AD was the last Misfits album. I can kind of hear like about halfway through that album where he sort of lost his sense of humor about the whole thing,
right?
And then he got into the more like explicitly occult stuff with Samhain, and and by the time he went solo, it was all this kind of Wolfchild bullshit that kind of, which, I mean, not taken away from, like the Danzig's first album is great,
Love it.
But the more he progressed with the solo stuff, it's like, all right, we get it. You're a wolf and you like blues.
Right. Well, hell, he wrote a whole opera and then had wolves in the background.
Yeah.
But what I liked about this also was, let's go back to the bass player, Eerie Von.
Oh yeah,
loved Eerie Von, man. He always had this really cool sound that came out of his bass on top of John Christ's that bluesy guitar. It was always something that caught my ear. When the recordings got better and you could hear Eerie a lot better, like the Lucifuge album, that's when he shined more. But this recording of Twist of Cain is still killer.
Right on. All right, let's listen to it then. Danzig, Twist of Cain.
Come on!
yeah, that song is so cool. It's so just the minimalism. It's just there's no fat on the animal, you know.
Right, and dare I say, it's gonna stand time.
Oh, absolutely. It's
gonna hold up.
Just from that fucking opening note that just bend it up. Oh, Jesus.
Just the rawness.
Yeah, there's just
the rawness. That's what's so.
It's doing so much with not a whole lot. It's awesome.
It's not always the notes you play. It's sometimes the notes you don't play.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Huh.
So before we go on, I'd just like to throw out there that Stephen Tracy is a rock star. So the next song,
you're gonna have to.
Nope.
Stephen Tracy.
Yep.
Who's Stephen Tracy?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Stephen Tracy, if you're listening, you are a rock star. Don't know what that means. I might regret it. Nah, I regret nothing.
I'm cutting that.
Good for you. Good for you.
Next song, The Sword. Here's a band I've heard a lot about, but I've never actually heard them. So this is going to be new on me. This song is called Iron Swan.
I listened to this podcast, and I was kind of noticing that it was all older stuff. So what I wanted to throw in or interject was stuff that I'm listening to now that moves me. Something now that, or something, they may have been around for a while, but it's new to me. And this kind of stuff.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. And this kind of stuff, I could almost draw a line back to Danzig. It's kind of simple, but it just kicks you in the mouth. And that's what I love about this song. It's going to start off with this groove, kind of nice and chilled, and it's going to get you in another one, and then it stops. And then you're going to think to yourself, that was it? And then you get smacked in the mouth with the sledgehammer of this chunky just groove.
Right on.
And it's one of those songs that, once you're done, you want to either go smash something, go lift weights, something manly and aggressive.
All right, man. Well, let's listen to it then. This is The Sword with Iron Swan. That was the sword with Iron Swan. I dug that. That was
like that. Good.
Yeah, it's just that. Chugga. Yep.
It's that smack in the face where you're not expecting it, and that's one of those songs that like you got the old school kicker box. You crank the bass up on that kicker box,
absolutely.
And it will thump.
No, I dig it. I was
Good.
saying while it was playing, I was saying that I can definitely hear a lot more Sabbath in it than I can Danzig, but
Right.
But it's definitely like one thing I do like about at least the last couple of choices so far is just how raw they are. They're not they're mixed well, but they're not produced.
Right.
They're not. They didn't call some dude in to put a spit polish on them. They just kind of all the levels right, good, fire it off, go.
Right, exactly. They didn't overproduce it. They didn't bring in like some compressor or compression they let that sound on its own.
Right. Yeah. I really like the especially with the angry growly bass tone.
Yeah.
To go with that heavily overdriven guitar just makes the whole thing just sound like.
Yes.
I really dig that. It's
either you want to break something or you want to go lift.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Cool, man. Next up on the list, Mastodon. Speaking of growly, angry bass tones, and just and these guys do these guys tend to have a tendency of going all over the place in every song too.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm familiar with this song necessarily. This is "Curl of the Burl." What album is this off of? This is.
Oh man, you'd have to ask that. I don't remember right at the moment. I'll figure it out here in a minute.
That's all right. It must be after Leviathan or.
It is
not what was the one after that? Blood Mountain.
It's what's cool about this one is I'm going to go out on a super big limb here and say that I feel that their riffs are almost Weezer-ish, where they're memorable. You get them right off the bat. You like them off the bat.
Well, yeah, he does some really really catchy stuff. I mean, he's very good at doing at creating guitar riffs that are very catchy, but still are still like heavy and aggressive.
It's got this really cool solo in there that it just sticks in your head. It's one of those. Yeah, you got the riff, but then you hear the solo, and then you catch yourself later on just kind of humming out that little solo, and then you're like, "Curl of the Burl, whoa."
Right on.
I mean, what the hell? Where'd that come from?
All right, man. Well, let's listen to it then, because I haven't heard this one, so
you're in for a treat.
I'm familiar with older Mastodon, and the newer stuff I'm not too familiar with. So let's have a listen to it. Mastodon, "Curl of the Burl."
Sky and the clouds, but it didn't matter.
Mastodon, Curl of the Burl. It's good, man. I've always liked Mastodon. I think as they progress, they're getting a little they're less like particularly the drummer, like the early stuff. The drummer was just like a billion notes a song.
Right.
He was a super busy drummer, always busy all the time. So he's more kind of doing a laid back groove thing here, and it's nice because it's, you know,
there's a pocket.
Yeah.
You know, basically there's a pocket, and I think, you know, maybe he's just singing more, because you're right. In the beginning, he was a very busy player, but I don't remember if he was singing as much. But a lot of these newer songs that the band has, he's singing a lot more.
Oh, well, that
so
would explain that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, but just like as with the previous song by The Sword, there's a similarity in the tone, you know.
Yes.
The production on this one is a bit more polished, but not
Yes.
overly so. So you still get that growly guitar and bass tone. Although this is a much more melodic groove thing than The Sword was, but you still those tones really still just make it pop for me. I mean, I really dig that.
The other thing that makes it pop for me is the vocals. You know, there's a lot of harmonizing on that, which I really like.
Yeah, that's kind of a rare thing in metal these days.
Right.
There's not a whole lot of that going. I keep thinking about stuff like that for my own band.
Mm-hmm.
You know, between me and Trish doing vocals, and there's been a couple of times where I've thought of 3-part harmonies where I'm working on a song, but Matt just flat refuses to do vocals at all. So, you know.
Right. Well, that's where I'm lucky in my band is our drummer Jeremy came already as a singer, you know, that drums. So we kind of lucked out in that department.
It just opens up other possibilities, and I dig it. You know,
Honestly, I was listening to Alien.
Yeah.
On the way here, and I kind of can see where you're saying that if you had that one more harmony or that one more part, you know, it would fatten you guys up and me. Not that you guys didn't sound bad at all. I love you guys and I love that song or that album, I meant to say, but I can see what you're saying. I can see exactly what you're saying, where that other vocal.
I mean, I guess it just you know, if as musicians, if we're even halfway serious about what we're doing, you know, we always listen to you know, we listen to what we've done before, and it's like, okay, now I could have tweaked it here and here and here, and it's, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's just a matter of it's just a natural impulse of wanting to fix what isn't necessarily broke. You know, you just want to improve it and tweak it.
No
and
artist
stuff.
is ever satisfied.
Yeah.
Ever. Seriously.
Which is a good, that's a good mindset to have as far as I'm concerned. You know,
just look at somebody like, you know, the Rolling Stones. They've been playing them songs, and they started way back. So, you know, you got to be hearing that. You know, Keith Richards is like, damn, I hate hearing this song because of this one little part.
Right? Yeah.
I hate this one little part. Can we just stop this one little part? You know, always striving to improve and challenge yourself.
Right on. So that brings us up to nice segue there. This brings us to the song number 5, the last song on your list today, which might seem an odd choice for a lot of people. I was a little blindsided by it, but
ladies and gentlemen, he really asked me if it was a real song. He literally asked me if this was a real song.
I didn't ask if it was a real song. I asked if you were fucking real.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But this is actually off of the soundtrack
for Judgment Night
of an old flick called Judgment Night,
yep.
who most of us might be familiar with. It's a great movie, and the thing about this soundtrack was it had a lot of like early to mid 90s. You know, like alternative, you know, like heavier alternative and metal bands doing collaborations with hip hop artists.
Yeah,
from the late '80s and early '90s and whatnot. So the song from the Judgment Night soundtrack that you have picked is called "Another Body Murdered," and this is the Booyah Tribe collaborating with Faith No More.
Yes.
So tell us about this one.
So first off, I really prefer aggressive music. You know, I'm naturally an aggressive person. So to me, this is like one of the first hardcore rap and not necessarily a metal band per se, like something harder we just heard. But Faith No More did have some really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where I would have liked to seen the rap and the metal merge and kept on going, but it really didn't. You know, it kind of petered out there. Limp Bizkit, you could make some sort of, but it wasn't as hard as this. No, I'm just saying it's
bring up the fucking LB.
It's there. You got to talk about it because it's there. I mean, unfortunately, it happened. But what I liked about
I personally I blame Korn for Limp Bizkit. Not that I mean because like Korn's first album was Korn, in my opinion, Korn's first album, their debut album, was brilliant. It was absolutely it was like nothing that had ever been heard before. They definitely broke new ground, and then the goddamn suits at fucking Sony or wherever was like, we need 19 bands that sound just like this shit so we can make some of that money too. And that's where we got Limp Bizkit and all that fucking new metal crybaby bullshit. Anyway,
but that's,
as you were saying,
this is far from that. You know, this is not going to be your whiny. This is hardcore rappers, you know, LA kind of rappers with Faith No More. And what's cool about this song is Mike Patton, the singer, never sings a damn word. It's all oohs and ahs and screaming. So go figure that out. I mean, and I'm gonna go out on a limb again here and say, you know, it's almost kind of like a Motown kind of feel with the oohs and the ahs, where he's just laying down patterns or sounds. I meant to say,
right.
Rather than say something.
You know, that's kind of a Mike Patton has always done that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's very I guess, you know, you could call it avant-garde or you know, he's definitely has one foot, you know, very deeply into the art rock or avant-garde rock, you know, or metal world. And that comes through in everything he's always done.
I've never got the chance to see Faith No More, but I saw one of his bands, Tomahawk, at the Orion Fest.
Yeah, Tomahawk is so good.
That was mind blowing, man. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but that guy puts out so much energy. And he was from one end of the stage to the other, on his knees, off his knees, just a wild man, just all over the place. And then when he had that damn bull mic or the microphone thing,
oh yeah,
screaming at people, I don't think he quite realized that it fed back so bad that we couldn't hear a damn word he was saying.
I think he knew that. He's been performing for
I
25 years, man. I think he knew that.
I get that, but when you're screaming at the crowd and they're like, you know, I don't know.
Isn't that what being metal's all about, though?
You got a point.
Blank stares or adulation, it's all the same, man. Just get some kind of reaction.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's listen to this one then. Booyah Tribe with Faith No More doing Another Body Murdered.
And if they pay, then they pay what they like. To watch another man try to hold on to it life. Cause I keep looking and hunting just like a lion. Let me sucker know that it's them that been dying. I show no remorse to the soul of a channel. And if they tell, then the hope prepare a battle. I'll keep it coming and coming straight from my table. And if I miss, I never miss, I'll be the danger. I'm looking forward and I'm looking over my shoulder. And I'm making sale for sale to make the bonus. But I never rest and rest, so never cease. Until a motherfucking witness rest in peace. Cause what they saw, they never seen or even heard of. And if they live, it's just another body murder. Another body murder. a kill, and anyone looking gonna get that ass killed. I'm living like a criminal when criminal I be, and I'm respected in the hood like a G. But if they think about stitching, then they gone. I'm taking off their head with a motherfucking chrome. I gotta pay to play to get through, and I ain't through till I'm dumping on a fool. I see the fool running and running, but where they going? Had the wits and my murder, now they know it. Would they blast, so let me pass. I had to think back while I was going in a blast. If I wait a second longer, that'll be my ass. Searching for these fools while stepping across the grass. Cause they can't hide, and that's real. And what you just witnessed with your eyes got you killed. Another body murdered. Bang your head to this. Another body murdered. I had to get it together to watch your body get murdered. I had to get it together to watch your body get murdered. Bang your head. Come on. Bang your head. Bang your head. Bang your head to this. I see a fool wanna try and test the fool. I testify that the fool will have to lose. Fool, you try, gotta keep it low. Cause the brother that was shot with my motherfucking oops on. As I been with my head up, round and proud, some more games for luck. And better get up. All these busters on my trail wanna get where I'm at, but they fail cause they can't fail. I keep bailing. I've been staying my shit ever since they have me jailed in. But it ain't all about serving time. It's all about breaking down the bird and serving mine. Another pass, I'm passing. You wanna pass by the rim, then the king start blasting. All these fools know when the things side, they try to test mine. They never get to rewind. For how long can you live? When the gangster like the red, keep smoking that ass. Bring your head to this.
All right, another body murdered. Booyah Tribe and Faith No More. You know, I it's to me it sounded. We were talking while it was playing. You know, it sounds like something that a record company executive said. Let's get these two things together and throw them together and see what happens, or not even to see what happens. Let's throw them together and fucking sell an album. It's starkly different from like earlier when Anthrax and Public Enemy got together and did their crossover stuff, which was totally organic and like these guys knew, they knew each other and they
liked each other.
They were basically from the same scene and mutual admiration. So the whole tenor and flavor of that is totally different from what we just heard because this was definitely like we're selling a fucking movie soundtrack. So just do it.
No, I get what you're saying completely, but in the end, it's still a fucking badass song. It's still. Yes, it feels like it has that feeling of Faith No More did their track, it turned it into some executive probably just picked out Booyah Tribe. But whoever did it, that one song is, for me, is just part of my metal or my my music likes.
Right on.
That's a part of the whole spectrum. I mean, God damn it, we only get 5 songs, so.
This time.
But I totally get what you're saying about that. I do. And then there's other, like we were talking before, there's other songs on there like Helmet with House of Pain. Sounds the same. But in the end, it's still a crushing song. It still has meaning for me.
Right.
You can bust a song down all you want, man.
It's
your show. You don't have to like it.
It's my show, damn it.
It's your show.
I mean, yeah, it's honestly, it doesn't do anything for me. But I'm the same way with most Ozzy too. I've said that a few times. I'm not the biggest Ozzy fan.
I would just like to go on the record and say Willibey banged his head to this. So he liked the song.
He did.
He liked the song. So
that's all right. I mean, it's
1.5 against you.
Yeah, can't win them all, and 1.5.
Why? What do you mean?
Right. right, man. Well, that was your 5th song. Thanks again for coming on the show. It's good to have you.
Appreciate you guys having me.
This has been another fine episode of 5 Songs. I'm your host, Kevin Tulppo. My guest has been Tim Cassidy of Iron Belly.
The first bassist on the show.
First bassist on the show. Now, Iron Belly is, you're working on a demo or not?
We're working on a 5-song EP.
A 5-song EP,
Yeah.
Cool. Any idea how long that's going to be?
Well, it's tomorrow, actually, which should be Monday. We're going to start vocals.
Oh, good.
So we're working with Mike Hastings from Walls of Jericho.
Okay.
So we're hoping, and we already kind of know it's going to come out really good. It's going to be
good. I'm looking forward to hearing it, and I'm looking forward to play the release party.
Well, since you mentioned it, you've already on the list. So guess what? You're playing it.
Woo! Score. All right, man.
No, I don't think you get it. You're playing it, whether you want to or not.
Well, I'll have to talk myself into it then.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Thanks again for coming. This is 5 Songs. I'm Kevin Tulppo. This is Tim Cassidy, and we're going to close things out with an Iron Belly song. This one is called 50 Cal. If you've been listening to this show, you heard it before when Jim Doyle was on. So turn it up and dig it again, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Iron Belly.
Around
Stephen Tracy is a rock star.
Stephen Tracy, if you're listening, you are a rock star.
It's your show. You don't have to like it.